Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes. Greetings, Apreneurs. Welcome to the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast, the show that uncovers the secrets to win with books beyond book sales and dominate authorpreneurship. Through exclusive author interviews, stories, and must-have resources, you will discover some of the secrets and strategies to thrive with books and generate lasting income. I invite you to become an Authorpreneur ambassador and join me in my mission to raise up 10,000 Caribbean entrepreneurs by 2030. Spread the word about the podcast and encourage more people to increase their impact and income with books beyond book sales. Without further ado, let's get into the show. Greetings, Apreneurs. It's episode 115 of the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast. I'm your host, C. Ruth Taylor, and today is a special episode. I'm celebrating 5 years as an authorpreneur. I became an authorpreneur in July 2018, responsible for my own income and my own financial means. And I started using books to support myself in what to me then was new and innovative ways. And now we are 5 years on the journey. And so I want to talk about what has happened and reflect on the lessons learned and the various things that happened over the last 5 years as we celebrate this milestone and give you some more ideas as to how you can become a winning authorpreneur. So let's hear a word from our sponsor, and then I come back and talk about the milestones.
Fremont Jamaica Limited is pleased to be associated with Ruth Taylor, and as part sponsor of your podcast, we want to congratulate you on the launch of your podcast. Certainly, the power of a good example cannot be underestimated, and what we believe you will do through this new podcast will be very valuable, not just for Jamaicans and for Caribbean people, but people all over the world. Certainly the work you're doing through Extra Mile Innovators, as well as through your work as an authorpreneur, is an excellent thing. And so we are pleased to be associated with this as a company and wish you all the best and every success for what you're seeking to accomplish through your podcast. Again, congratulations to you from Frame Art Jamaica Limited.
All right. So I'm titling this episode Beyond the Book, Celebrating 5 Years as an Authorpreneur. It's a milestone. I never thought, when I decided to jump, that authorpreneurship would be the thing that my book would play such a big role in it. But in July 2018, I submitted my letter of resignation. And on July 4, it became effective. I was working then at the Jamaican German Automotive School, which is one of the vocational training centers by the NSTA in Jamaica. And I remember just before taking the jump, I was teaching some young men. Jagas is primarily men. You have a few young ladies in the program, but it's primarily men. So I was teaching some of the trainees. This was a special cohort of unattached youths. And as we were talking, one of the young ones said, "Miss, what are you doing here?" So I thought he wanted to know why I was teaching at Jagas, but it wasn't that he was asking me, because I normally do like motivational speeches and different things to inspire them. I think he saw something more. So the question was on a deeper level, and it was during a season that I was contemplating my next steps. I felt as if God was saying it's time to step out. And that was like the last thing that pushed me over the edge. And I'm a dreamer. So I actually dreamt I was leaving, and I was trying to figure out how I was going to survive, because not only was I leaving, but I felt God also saying to me that I needed to start my doctorate. I had been accepted from 2015, but due to a number of challenges, including financial challenges, I wasn't able to begin. So I felt that it was time. This is something that God was calling me to do. I had only 1 month's salary. I did not put aside any nest egg, save that 3 months income. And I had expected some funds from the organization. And I said I would use that money to kickstart the journey and pay for my first semester. It so happened that that money did not come until a year later. And so I needed to do something. By that time, I had already written and published 4 books. And I knew just selling books alone would not work because I tried that in 2015 and it wasn't sustainable. Some months there would be money, some months there wouldn't be. And I'm going to talk to you about the things that I did. I signed up for coaching. So by the time that I made a jump, I had already launched my Design to Win Academy around my book, Design to Win Roadmap. That was book 1. And so I was doing personal development coaching that I call my Design to Win coaching and the Winning You coaching program. And so I launched a profitable coaching program and I had some clients, and that was the start. But even that too was not so sustainable, and I really wasn't enjoying it. So one day I was lying on the bed and I just heard Indie Authorpreneurs start a Facebook group called Indie Authorpreneurs. And I was like, okay. So I jumped up out the bed and I started researching authorpreneurs. What does an authorpreneur do? Who is an authorpreneur? What's the meaning of authorpreneur? And I searched and I recognized that it was about using your books to create initiatives and programs, and it's really about monetizing your book. And I loved it, and I started the group October 2018. By that time as well, I was feeling, the pinch, rent due and different things. And as I said, I had published 4 books for myself. I had helped one of my lecturers, Dr. Jeannie, to publish her book. And another friend wanted me to help with her and another friend wanted me to help her to publish her book. And I started working with her, and her husband was very impressed, and he encouraged me to publish book for others, but I was reluctant. And when the financial pinch started, to hit me, I was like, okay, you have the skill, you know how to publish books, and you're not doing anything with it. And there are people who are asking you to do this. Give it a try. And still reluctant, what I did was to create a post and put that I'm offering publishing consultation. And within minutes, someone reached out to me. And so I started offering a personal development coaching program, was the first authorpreneurship initiative around my book, Design to Win Roadmap. And then I started offering publishing consultation services. And that wasn't enough. The young lady that I met, she wanted me to actually guide her to publishing her whole book, and I would redirect her to other publishers. I kept redirecting people to other publishers, and they kept coming back to me. They wanted me to coach them. They wanted me to manage their book. And so I was sharing with a friend that the last book that I had written, Design to Win Roadmap, that I had written it in 10 days and published it in 60 days. So it was a 70-day process. And I was telling her, on average, I tend to write books within 30 days. Of course, the first book was 11 days, but on average, it's about 30 days. And she said, why don't you start a course, idea to book or idea to manuscript in 30 days? And I said, a better idea. Let me test this because I wasn't sure that I could really do this. So the next initiative that I did is what shifted everything to where we are. So within the group, I told them that come November, we are going to idea to manuscript challenge. And we're going to write a book in 30 days. Unbeknownst to me was that November is National Novel Writing Month, that internationally there was this challenge that you would write a book of 50,000 words, a novel, during the month of November. Anyway, we decided that it would be a book of between 10 and 30,000 words at the time, a small book. And a number of persons said they would do it. The group was small. And out of that, Raquel Newman and Leo Stone Morrison wrote their first manuscript and eventually published their book. So I knew I was onto something. But the magic started happening on that challenge. On that challenge, even though it was 30 days, I wrote the book Authorpreneur Secrets in 3 days. Of course, I couldn't tell the rest of the group members because, you know, they want to discourage them. And then I started another edition of Design to Win Roadmap. I think it was the Young Achievers edition. And I was going on a trip to Turks and Caicos, and I was writing at the airport and still motivating the group and keeping a daily track. And I had determined, so this is 2018 now, I have a coaching program around one book. I have set up a group around the other. I'm offering publishing consultation services. So I'm turning my knowledge and skills of publishing, offering that now, turning that into income. And then I'm writing the book, sharing my experience, how I wrote fast, published affordably, and the income streams that you can generate. And of course, I had gotten some coaching and I was trying to pencil out how this thing would work. Anyway, the book was finished and I decided that I am going to use the book for a boot camp. So it was written with a boot camp in mind to actually teach people. So I had the first Authorpreneurship boot camp in February 2019. So we go from book to boot camp, and I use that boot camp also to refine the book and to just get a feel. It was about publishing and writing your manuscript, and about 8 persons was part of that boot camp. And as a matter of fact, I got sponsorship for the book. So I didn't spend any money to publish the book apart from the money for the ISBN. Then the printing of the books was included in the boot camp. So I went from book to boot camp. And then in May, I launched the book. And so this was 2019. And I'm wondering, okay, what else do I do? I'm still struggling a little bit. You know, the business hasn't taken off. I decided not to ignore the call to publish any longer. I felt God was saying, just do this, offer publishing services. You're leaving money on the table. So I went from just consulting to saying, okay, I'm offering publishing services, and a number of persons came. So I got some clients from that. And yes, it was still challenging. Things didn't seem like they were picking up until late 2019. But during that year, as I was thinking about my 40th birthday, after I celebrated my 39th birthday in 2019, I was saying, I don't feel as if I have made the most of my 30s. So how would I make the next decade greater? What would I do? Am I just going to write and publish books? What would I do differently? And so I decided to take on a challenge, which was 20 books for 2020. I wasn't sure if I was going to write 20 new books, or since I had 4 published already, that I would just ensure that I have 20 published books for 2020. And this is 2019 now. So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to backtrack. Let's see if I can write 20 books in a year. And I made the year, I backtracked to October 2018, and I was saying by November 2019, I want to have 20 books. Of course, it was a quiet challenge. Only one or two persons in my inner circle knew about it. And I said, what else am I going to do differently? And I said, you know what? I am doing this to establish a platform for transformation and to also establish myself as an expert in the industry, that I know how to publish books. And I would also try to publish the books on a budget. The challenge was to publish these 20 books or the 16, depending on whichever route I decided, for less than what it cost me to publish my first book. I went from having maybe like 3 initiatives. So let's backtrack. 2018, established myself. 2018, started branding myself as an authorpreneur. I have a coaching program, a Design to Win coaching program. I'm also speaking. So I was being paid as a speaker based on some of the very same topics that I wrote about. Then I started a community around book publishing. So again, using my knowledge and skills. Then I wrote a book that captured what I did and the things that you could do with a book, since I was learning about authorpreneurship. And then I turned that book into a boot camp. In fact, I had 2 boot camps in 2019, having written the 20 books, November 2018 to November 2019. I wanted to teach the rocket writing skills to see if I could teach persons to write their book fast. And so in December 2019, I had another authorpreneurship bootcamp, but this time was focused on rocket writing. And out of that, I had one person write a manuscript in a day. And over 17,000 words came out of that. Writing the books was one. The other challenge was, how do I publish them? I said by the end of 2020, instead of publishing all 20 of these new books, I just wanted to have 20 books for 2020. So I would publish the 16 of them. So by the end of 2020, I had the 20 books. That goal was accomplished. Also in 2020, I established the Authorpreneur Secrets Academy, and it also had individual courses. So I turned the one book, Authorpreneur Secrets, into about 5 or 6 different courses and a membership group. So I started adding up, and I discovered that there are over 30 plus different income streams that you could gain from a book, and you could leverage a book in so many different ways. And I started testing them. I had also turned the boot camp into an online course, which is Idea to Book in 30 days. And that became a profitable course. I had the Start Your Book Now course. I had the book marketing and monetization course. That was successful. So that was like a turning point. Of course, along with this came more opportunities, interviews, and more clients. I must say as well that 20 books for 2020 challenge, I got burnt out on it. So it's not like I had a team working with, because I was doing it quietly. And so I was the one writing and publishing. And in that time as well, what I did, I learned the skill of book formatting, and I learned how to do my cover designs, at least the back and the spine. And so I learned some skills, and then I created a course around that too, a book formatting course. 2021 was very, very successful. I also had but the book Authorpreneur Secrets just became the template. And then the book became a boot camp or 2 boot camps. And then from boot camp to online course, then from online course to multiple courses. The book was further split into 3 other books. And then the book itself became a membership group. And in 2021 as well, I turned the book into this podcast. So we went from book to podcast. And then in November 2021, because the workload became so heavy, because I was a solopreneur, I decided to become an LLC. So I got partners November 2021, and we started doing business and rebranded as Bamboo Sparks in November 2022. But in 2021 as well, through the academy, I started certifying publishing coaches. Yes. So you turn the book into certification, certifying. So from being just a coach now to certifying coaches. And then in 2022, we continued doing that. And we also had a publishing services program where we taught teenagers various publishing skills. And then between 2021 and 2022, we established a publishing skills center now, and that started employing others to help with the publishing process. And we've employed, last time I checked, over 21 persons from about maybe 6 different countries, including teenagers, retirees. You know, they've been able to supplement their income, earn extra. And also 2022, I established a scholarship. It has always been my dream to use books for transformation, tertiary education, scholarships. So I formalized a scholarship and a grant, a paid forward grant, to support students doing their masters and to support them on their starting journey and their ending journey. Those are some of the milestones. Through Authorpreneurship, going beyond the book, as in the book sales, I've been able to sustain myself financially. I went from trying to, tear my head out each month. How am I going to pay the rent? I don't have to worry about that. The book has helped me to be self-sustaining financially. I think I said it in 2021, the Authorpreneurship Summit. Yes, we turned the book into the Caribbean Authorpreneur Summit. And we had the podcast. And now we have I rebranded the YouTube channel as the Authorpreneurship, Authorpreneur Secrets channel. And so everything is just growing out of that. And of course, my doctoral studies will be in this area as well. So going beyond the book, it's been a good 5 years. What I want to say in closing is that, your book is not just a product to sell. It's a vehicle for your vision. It is a magnet for your mission because it draws to you the people, the resources that you need to fulfill your mission. It is a platform for ministry for those who are Christians. It is something that you can use to give birth to a new ministry or to expand an existing one. It takes you into new territories. It gives you voice. It gives you wings. And if you think beyond book sales, you can gain financial freedom faster. I did not do this on my own. Like I said, I got coaching. There were persons to encourage me. The doctoral courses that I did also helped me to flesh out my business. And so if you're thinking of becoming an authorpreneur, I trust that my story has helped. And of course, there are bigger things in store for the future. And I just want you to stay tuned. And it's been worth it. It's been worth it. Great things in life and business, they're not achieved by one person. But I am living proof that authorpreneurship works. I am not only sharing things, the successes of others, but also sharing my own journey with you. As Steve Jobs once said, here's to the crazy ones. Because when I took that leap, it was crazy. And so I want to close with that quote. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They are not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And I believe that Authorpreneurship is a platform for transformation. I know it is a platform for transformation. It is a platform for poverty alleviation or poverty eradication. And it is a platform to build generational wealth, or as I have on the book, to generate lasting income. So if you learn to write fast, especially with nonfiction books, and publish affordably, you can use your book to generate lasting income. Let me have your feedback. Are you considering becoming an authorpreneur, moving from just selling books to utilizing books in multiple ways for greater impact and greater income? Let me know. Ta for now. Until next time.